Caw! Yeah, I tried to make a caw sound. I'm not a Kenku. GameMasters here, and this video is all about the Kenku, a playable race found within Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse, which is due out on May 17th, about a week away. Unless, of course, you're watching this video after the fact, then it's already out. But after we chat about the playable race, we are going to look at the monster version found within the monster manual, just to see where they evolved from. The Kenku is a bird-like creature, almost raven in look, and like their avian counterpart, they have keen observation and a supernaturally accurate memory. What they cannot remember, not a single one, is the origin of their species. Oh, there are many tales of their origin, but when you have many different versions of how you came to be, there's no way to hold stock in which one is the truth. Kenku are usually found in the Shadowfell and the material plane, but of course if you choose to play as one, that origin and place where you brought up, that's going to be totally up to you and your DM. In the past, the Kenku have been categorized as a monster. And of course with this Mordenkainen book, several monsters are now categorized as creatures that you, the player, can now play as. As such, the method for creation is a little different. Gone are the pluses for racial traits. You still have racial traits, just the pluses work a little different. Dwarves, for example, used to see a +2 to Constitution. A mountain dwarf would see a +2 to Strength. Those pluses are gone. Now, you simply increase one score by 2 and a different score by 1, or you increase 3 different scores by 1. The only stipulation is you can't raise a score above 20. Kenku do have the following racial traits. Your creature type is humanoid. You are medium or small. Your walking speed is 30 feet. We know from the monster version of the Kenku that they have arms, not wings, therefore you won't be able to fly. Well, not without aid. You have expert duplication. When you copy something, either writing or something crafted by either someone else or something you have made in the past, you have an advantage on any ability check you make to produce an exact duplicate. You have Kenku recall. Earlier we mentioned that Kenku have a supernaturally accurate memory. As such, you have proficiency in 2 skills of your choice. Moreover, ability checks you make with your chosen 2 skills, you can give yourself advantage on those rolls before you roll a d20. And what's even better, you can do this equal to your proficiency bonus. You'll regain those expended uses after a long rest. And finally, you get mimicry. Okay, so you hear something, a sound or someone's voice. You have the ability to mimic those sounds and voices accurately, with someone only able to tell that it's an imitation if they fail a wisdom, an insight check against a DC of 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier. Now for the monster manual version. The monster version of the Kenku is described as being feathered humanoids that wander the world driven by greed, and they can perfectly imitate any sound they hear. They can also recreate writing that they find. We can immediately see where the playable race has derived its abilities. They will wear ill-fitting cloaks, robes, and rags, which cover their feathers and taloned feet, and can be used for their taloned feet can be used for grasping things or holding onto branches. It also specifies that they cannot fly, but they do crave the ability for flight. A sample Kenku stat block shows us that they have an armor class of 13, 3d8 hit points, and that their speed is 30 feet. They have a strength of 10, dexterity is 16, constitution is 10, intelligence is 11, wisdom is 10, and their charisma is also 10. And while being totally average, pretty much across the board, your rolls when you choose to play one will likely be well above these found in the monster version. They have a challenge rating of 1/4. Of course, a DM could probably beef them up a bit, especially if you encounter them in a swarm. A swarm, you ask? Oh, stick around. I have a video coming out next week that will detail swarms. The Kenku have an ability called Ambusher. This gives it advantage on attack rolls against any creature it has surprised. It also has mimicry. Like the playable counterpart, it can imitate any sounds or voices that it hears. A creature must make a DC 14 wisdom, again an insight check, to know if it's not authentic. For actions, the monster version of the Kenku uses a short sword to attack with when in melee, and a bow to attack with when ranged. You can easily see where the similarities are, but also where the differences lay between the monster version and the playable creature version. With Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse releasing in just a few days, I'm wanting to share with you some of the other playable races found within these pages. I've covered a few in past videos, and I'll cover more in future videos, but you can check out my massive playlist here. Also in that playlist are videos covering some of the other monsters as well, so for an early sneak peek, be sure to check it out. To me, the Kenku screams being played as a rogue. What class would you play? Let me know in the comments below, and until next our paths cross, may that sound you hear be real.